Hello. So I have a basic space station here. Just a science lab and some batteries and two docking ports. Things may look a little bit different because I have a mod that changes the parts to look a little bit different, but all the parts are there from the stock game. They just look different. I think they look better, so I use the mod. Um, So basic space station, and I'll be showing you how to rendezvous and dock with it. So let's go back to the Space Center. And to the VAB. So I'm just gonna make a uh, a very basic three-man pod to dock with the space station that I have up there. So just start with command pod, and gonna need a docking port. And this one, I believe, has parachutes, but you're gonna want to put them on yours because unless you have the modded parts, it will not have a parachute. So it's just gonna be a super basic and standard thing. So like I was saying, I have parts that look different than yours. Like this is the Poodle engine, but I'm pretty sure your Poodle isn't gonna look like that. And that's the mainsail. And you're definitely going to want RCS. And RCS fuel. And that's good. That's it. So I'm going to be docking this command module with the space station, but you can think of it like anything else. Uh, say you wanted to dock something like a solar array to it, you would definitely want to... Oh shit, that's too big. That's also too big. Okay, say you had a really big thing like that with the solar panels, and you wanted to dock that to your space station. Just pretend pretend like this is what you were docking to your space station, be really aware of where your center of mass is with this, because if your center of mass is off of your RCS block, then you're gonna have a really hard time docking because your craft will pitch and roll in off directions. What in the hell? Alright, that's better. Alright, that should be good. Okay, super important. Check your map. Find the space station. It's right there. Set it as target. Now, I've been doing this long enough to where I can launch and I can figure out roundabout when I need to launch to directly meet the space station. So I'll try to give you a little bit of heads up what's going on here. See this little C right here? When the station's about right there, that's when you want to launch. If it's in a low enough orbit. It's 98 by 93 right now, so right there's definitely where I want it. This is a just basic 2-orbit burn. Just gonna try to keep my velocity vector in line with the prograde vector. Velocity vector, of course, being this V with the wings on it and the dot in the middle, and the prograde vector being the circle with the lines going through it, as you see right here. Alright, I'm gonna be watching for the intersect points. It looks like it's gonna be faster than me. So my thinking is, if I point more down, I'll gain more horizontal velocity. And I definitely am. You see it's catching up. And now the intersect, the closest intersect, it will be behind my craft. Alright, so I switched into target mode. Right here you can click and switch different modes. So I'm gonna try, when it gets a little bit closer, just probably right around here, I'm gonna start killing my relative velocity. As you see read out right here, right now it's about 810 meters per second. I'm gonna kill my relative velocity and try to push the retrograde marker, which you see 3 lines going through the circle with the X through it. I'm going to push that onto the node, the away node for the target. As I burn this way, it pushes the retrograde marker closer. And as I'm doing that, it's also killing the relative velocity. Now they're right on top of each other, and I get a separation of 0.1 kilometers. And I'm gonna start killing my relative velocity even more now. Burning straight retro on the relative target. Just slowly pushing it back. Now I have a separation of 0.0 kilometers. Just gonna proceed to kill the relative velocity. Should be right on top of it right now as soon as I get out of map view. Oh, and I am. Turn on the RCS and just start moving towards it. Set one of the docking ports as the target. Just gonna line up my ship with the docking port. It's a little bit wobbly. I guess I have my RCS unbalanced, but it's doable. All right, it's lined up enough, and docking happens. That's it. It's really that easy. Nothing to it.